Hello everyone, welcome back to your YouTube channel Unbelievable Academy and myself Prasanna Marihalkar, and in this video I am going to discuss a very interesting and curious concept about the brain, and so watch this video till end so that you can understand every concepts, and at the end I am going to announce some something important, and so be curious about it. And now let us begin about the brain. So there are some questions. What make us to read, and how do we think, and how do we respond for the stimulus, and how do our involuntary actions like breathing, heartbeat and etc. are controlled. So exactly these all are controlled by our brain. So this is the diagram of the brain. So now let us know about the introduction to the brain. So brain controls and coordinates everything we do. Its job is to receive the messages and processes those messages and respond to them, and the brain allows us to do the huge range of things such as think, learn, move, breathe, speak, show emotion and control most of our bodily functions. And so now brain is very important and complex organ in our nervous system. So here a word came, what nervous system. So now let us learn something about the nervous system. So the nervous system is the organ system present in all the animals to control and coordinate different activities of the body. Nervous system comprises of brain, spinal cord and a huge range of network of nerves that are spread throughout the body, and nerves are the thread like structure emerging out of the brain and the spinal cord. So now let us know about the neuron. So this is the diagram of the neuron. Neuron consists of nucleus, dendrite, axon, nerve ending and the cell body. So what is a neuron? So neuron is the fundamental unit of the nervous system and specialized to transport the information to the different parts of the body. And the neuron structure. A neuron varies in the shape, size depending upon their function and the location. All neurons have three different parts: dendrites, cell body and the axon. So this is the diagram of the neuron. Neuron consists of nucleus, cell body is also called as the cyton, and these are the dendrite which receives the electrical impulses, and axon it connects the cell body to the nerve ending, and nerve ending it passes the electrical impulse to the another neuron. The chemical junction between two neurons is called as the synapse. So now let us see the types of the neurons. The types of the neuron are sensory neurons and the motor neurons. Sensor neurons are the neurons which passes the message from the muscles to the brain, and motor neurons are the neurons which passes the message from the brain to the all parts of the body. And the nervous system is divided into two main parts that work together. Those are the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. So now let us discuss about the peripheral nervous system. So the peripheral nervous system allows us to control and coordinate our muscles. It also controls vital body functions as our heart rate and the breathing. So these are the peripheral nerves. These all over our body. So now let us discuss about the central nervous system. Central nervous system is made up of two organs. Those are brain and the spinal cord. They work together like a control center which sends and receives messages to and from the rest of the body. So the central nervous system consists of two organs. Those are brain and the spinal cord. So this is the magnified one from here. This is brain and this is the spinal cord. And now let us discuss about the spinal cord. So this is the spinal cord and this is the brain. So now the spinal cord is a part of the central nervous system. It is a long pipe-like structure arising from the medulla oblongata, which is part of the brain, and it is mainly a part of the hindbrain consisting of a collection of nerve fibers and running through a vertical column of the backbone, and it is segmented with a pair of the roots, dorsal and the ventral roots, consisting of a nerve fibers joining to form the spinal nerves. Here the segmented means to divide the marketplace into parts or the segments. Ventral refers to the front of the body, and here the dorsal refers to the back of the body. So now let us discuss about the parts of the brain. So this is the diagram of the brain. Another one. So this is for the 10th standard, and now let us discuss about the human brain. On average, an adult brain weighs between 1.0 kg to 1.5 kg. It is mainly composed of neurons, the fundamental unit of the nervous system, as we have already discussed. A recent estimation have suggested that the brain contains anywhere between 86 billion to the 100 billion neurons. And now let us discuss where the brain is located. And the brain is enclosed within the skull. Skull is also called as the cranium. The brain is contained within the cranium, and it is surrounded by the cerebrospinal fluid. Cerebrospinal fluid is abbreviated as CSF, and the cerebrospinal fluid is a fluid that circulates within the skull and the spinal cord, filling up the hollow spaces on the surface of the brain. Hollow spaces means the having a hole. We have to note that the CSF is also present in the spinal cord, and let us discuss about the functions of the CSF in the spinal cord as well as the brain. Spinal cord, the CSF performs a vital functions including support, shock absorption, hemostasis, nutrition and the immune function. Hemostasis means a property of a cell, tissue and the organisms that allows the maintenance and the regulation of the stability and the constancy needed to function it properly. And now let us discuss about what is brain made up of. So weighing about 3 pounds is approximately 1.4 kg. In the average adult, the brain is about 60% of the fat, and the remaining 40% is combination of the protein, water, carbohydrates and the salts. And brain is itself not a muscle. It contains blood vessels, nerves and including neurons and the glial cells. Here the glial cells are also called as the glial cell or a neuroglia. These are the non-neuronal cells in the central nervous system. As we know, central nervous system is consist of the brain and the spinal cord. So now let us discuss how does the brain work in our central nervous system. Brain sends and receives the chemical and the electrical signals throughout the body, and different signals are controlled different processes, and our brain interprets each. And now let us discuss some messages are kept within the brain while others are relayed through the spine and across the body's vast network of the nerves of distant extremities. To do this, the central nervous system relies on the billions of the neurons. Neurons means the nerve cells. And now let us discuss about the parts of the brain. Parts of brain is consist of 3 parts. Those are the forebrain, hindbrain and the midbrain. So now let us discuss about the forebrain. And forebrain is the largest part of the brain, and it is the anterior part of the brain. Anterior means front. And now the parts of the forebrain are cerebrum and the hypothalamus and the thalamus. So now let us discuss about the cerebrum. So now let us discuss about the location of the cerebrum. The cerebrum is located in the upper part of the cranial cavity, which is space inside the top of the skull. It is divided into 2 hemispheres. Those are the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. Right part of the cerebrum hemisphere controls the left part of the body, and the left part of the cerebrum hemisphere controls the right part of the body. So now let us discuss about the parts of the cerebrum. So the cerebrum is further divided into 4 sections. Those are frontal lobe and the parietal lobe and the occipital lobe and the temporal lobe. Frontal lobe, it is associated with the part of the speech, planning, and reasoning, problem solving and the movements. And the parietal lobe help in the movements and perception of stimulus and the orientation. Occipital lobe, it is related to visual processing, and the temporal lobe, it is reason in the related to the perception and the recognition of the memory, auditory stimuli and the speech. Here the perception means it is a sensory experience of the world and the person basic attitude, belief or the relief in the relation to a particular subject or a issue. It is known as the orientation. So now let us discuss about the cerebrum further. The exterior portion of the cerebrum is called as the cortex or the cerebral mantle. The cortex is extremely convoluted, due to which it is a large surface area. Convoluted means means the extremely complex, and let us see the lateral view of the brain showing the lobes of the cerebral cortex in the left cerebral hemisphere. Left cerebral hemisphere controls the right part of the body, and it is the parietal lobe and frontal lobe, pons, medulla oblongata, cerebrum. These all consist of the hindbrain, occipital lobe and parietal lobe. So now let us discuss what the cerebrum includes. Sensory areas, association areas and the motor areas. Sensory areas are to receive the messages, and association areas, these areas integrate the incoming sensory information, and it also forms the connection between the sensory and the motor areas. Here the sensory areas are controlled by the sensor neurons, and the motor areas are controlled by the motor neurons, which are the types of the neurons, and this area is responsible for the action of the voluntary muscles. So now let us discuss about the functions of the cerebrum. Cerebrum is the major part of the brain and controlling emotions, hearing, vision and personality and much more, and controls and precision of the voluntary action. Precision means the quality and the condition or a fact of being exact or accurate. So next function is, it functions as the center of the sensory perception, memory, thoughts and the judgment, and the cerebrum also functions as the center of the voluntary activity. So now let us discuss about further functions determining intelligence. How much the cerebrum is inside our brain, that means the man is intelligent. Determining personality, and it helps to think and in the reasoning, producing and understanding the knowledge and interpretation of the sensory impulses. Motor function are carried by the motor neurons, and planning and organization, processing sensory information. So now let us discuss about the hypothalamus. What is hypothalamus? Exactly, the hypothalamus is a part of the brain that has a vital role in controlling many bodily functions, including the release of the hormones from the pituitary gland. And now let us discuss about the location of the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is located on the undersurface of the brain. It lies just below the thalamus and above the pituitary gland. We can say just the hypothalamus is in between the thalamus and the pituitary gland. And now let us discuss about it is extremely complex part of the brain containing many regions with highly specified functions. In humans, the hypothalamus is approximately the size of a pea and accounts for less than 1% of the weight of the brain. It is very small. And now this is the diagram of the brain. Here is the cerebrum, cranium, midbrain and pons, medulla, cerebrum, all are made, these all are called as the hindbrain. Here is the hypothalamus, and here is the pituitary gland, and here is the thalamus. The in between this, the hypothalamus is concentrated, and this all the part is known as the forebrain. And now let us discuss about the functions of the hypothalamus. One of the major function of the hypothalamus is maintain the hemostasis, to keep the body in the stable or the constant condition. So next function is hemostasis, means a healthful and the balanced bodily state, and the body is always trying to achieve this balance. the equilibrium position is always to be achieved by the body. The hypothalamus act as the connector between the endocrine gland and the nervous system to achieve this. And heart rate, it also functions like heart rate, blood pressure, body temperature, fluid and electrolytic balance, including thirst and appetite and the body weight, appetite, glandular secretions of the stomach and the intestines, production of the substances that influence the pituitary gland to release the hormones and the sleep cycles. Here the appetite means a natural desire to satisfy the bodily needs. So now let us discuss the hypothalamus. This is also a function of the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus produces the releasing and inhibiting hormones which stops and start the production of the other hormones throughout the body. Here the body has to be stopped from the more releasing of the hormones, and it has to be gain the hormones if it is not at all secreting. So now let us discuss about the thalamus. So now let's discuss about the location of the thalamus. The thalamus is the small structure within the brain located just above the brain stem and between the cerebral cortex and the midbrain, and has an extensive nerve connection to both. Here the cerebral cortex have already came in the cerebrum, in the part of the cerebrum. And now let us discuss about the functions of the thalamus. So the thalamus is heavily involved in the relaying information between the cortex and the brainstem, and contribution to perception, relaying motor information. Motor information are carried by the motor neurons, sensory information are carried by the sensory neurons, and it play important role in the memory and alertness and attention and consciousness and the awareness, role in cognition. Cognition means perception is a sensory experience of the world, as we all know. The mental action or the process of acquiring knowledge to understand through thought, experience, and the sense is called as the cognition. And now let us discuss about further functions of the thalamus. The functions are completed here. The functions of the cerebrum. The forebrain consists of mainly three parts. Those are thalamus, hypothalamus and the cerebrum. Main part is the cerebrum, and the forebrain performs the following functions. It is responsible for the intelligence, memory, consciousness, willpower and the voluntary actions. It has the center of visual perception, hearing reception and the smell and the temperature reception. Here this is very important for the 10 students. So in the board exams they may be asked the functions of the forebrain. So there are three parts: forebrain, hindbrain and the midbrain. So now let us discuss about the midbrain. So now introduction to the parts of the midbrain. So midbrain is the topmost part of the brainstem and the connection central between the brain and the spinal cord. And there are three main parts of the midbrain. Those are colliculi and the tegmentum and the cerebral peduncules. Location located towards the base of our brain, and small but important region are called the midbrain, which serves as a vital connection between the other major regions of the brain like the forebrain and the hindbrain. It plays a very important role in the connection of the forebrain and the hindbrain, and it also plays important role in the connection of the forebrain and the spinal cord. Now let us discuss about the functions of the midbrain. So the midbrain serves important functions in the motor movement, and particular movements of the midbrain serves in the eye and the auditory and the visual processing. So next function is it acts as the bridge and transmits signals from the hindbrain and the forebrain. And another function it is associated with the motor control, vision, hearing and temperature regulation and the alertness. Next, It controls the reflex movements of the head, eye and the neck muscles. And another one is it provides a passage for the different neurons moving in and out of the cerebrum. Those neurons are sensor neurons and the motor neurons. It is a complex structure with various components which is mainly involved in the body movement, sleep, arousal, attention and different necessary reflections. And arousal means prachodhane in Kannada. And so next one is the functions of the types of the midbrain. It forms the platform for the midbrain and connects with the thalamus, cerebral cortex and the spinal cord. Functions of the types of the midbrain. The colliculi processes visual and auditory signals before they are relayed to the occipital and the temporal lobes, and the tegmentum is involved in the movement and coordination and alertness. Lastly, the cerebral peduncles plays an important part in the central nervous system. And so next the hindbrain, and this is the last part of the brain and the introduction to the hindbrain. And the hindbrain can be considered as one of the main and the major regions of the human brain, and the location of the hindbrain is in the lower back portion of the human brain. And the parts of the hindbrain, the cerebellum, bones and medulla are the parts of the hindbrain. First, let us discuss about the cerebellum. So, where it is located? So, this is the location of the cerebellum. The cerebellum is largest structure of the hindbrain, and that can be found in the back portion of the skull, just below the temporal and occipital lobes and behind the brainstem. So, the next one is function of the cerebellum. The cerebellum receives information from other regions of the brain and nervous system, including the brainstem, spinal cord and the cerebrum. It is incoming information is then used by the cerebellum to coordinate and control voluntary movements. Voluntary movements are the cycling, walking and riding, etc. There are several key functions of the cerebrum, including balance and the posture, mental function, movement, motor learning and the vision. And now let us discuss about the pons. It is also part of the hindbrain. Location of the pons. Pons is a part of the hindbrain which includes the medulla oblongata and the cerebrum. Here the hindbrain includes the medulla oblongata and the pons and the cerebellum. Pons is present in the uppermost part of the brainstem, just above the medulla, in front of the cerebrum. Infrarally it is continuous with the medulla, and suprarally it is with the midbrain. And now let us discuss about the function of the pons. The pons is involved in the several functions of the body, including arousal, autonomic functions. It is controlled by the autonomous nervous system, which is another type of the nervous system. It is not important for the 10th standard. It also performs the autonomic functions like breathing and the regulation, relaying sensory information between the cerebrum and the cerebellum, and it also controls the sleep cycle. Here the arousal means prachodhane, medulla oblongata. It is also part of the hindbrain. So where it is located? So the medulla oblongata looks like a rounded bulge at the end of the brainstem, or a part of our brain that connects with our spinal cord, and also lies in front of the part of our brain called the cerebellum. Discuss about the function of the medulla oblongata. The medulla oblongata controls the involuntary actions. Involuntary actions are the heartbeat, blood pressure and etc. Connects the higher level of the brain to the spinal cord. And next function is autonomic functions, control relay of nerve signals between the brain and the spinal cord, coordination of the body movements and mood regulation. Medulla oblongata is the control center for the cardiovascular and the respiratory system activity. Cardiovascular means the heart rate, heart it is related to the heart. Cardio means the heart. It regulates heart rate, blood pressure and respiratory rate and other life sustaining processes that takes place within a person. These all are involuntary action: heart rate, blood pressure and the respiratory rate and other life sustaining activities. And the medulla oblongata also controls involuntary actions such as swallowing, sneezing and gagging. Gagging means the reflex contraction of the muscles of a throat caused especially by the stimulation is known as the gagging.
So let us summarize that whatever we have discussed in the video, and this is very important for the 10th students, and listen it carefully. So first let us discuss about the human brain. Human brain is highly complex organ which is mainly composed of the nervous tissue. The tissues are highly floated to accumulate a large
Surface area in the chest space. The brain is covered by a 3-layer system of the membrane called the meninges, and the cerebrospinal fluid, which is called as CSF, is filled between the meninges, and the CSF provides cushion the brain against the mechanical shocks, and furthermore protection. The human brain can be divided into 3 main regions. Those are forebrain, hindbrain and the midbrain. So parts of the human brain: forebrain, it is composed of the cerebrum and the midbrain, and the midbrain is consist of conchicua and etc. And last one is the hindbrain. It is composed of the cerebellum, pons, medulla and medulla oblongata. So next is some main structures of the human brain are explained below. Cerebrum is the largest part of the human brain, and it is divided into 2 hemispheres called the cerebrum hemisphere. As we have discussed, the right cerebral hemisphere controls the left part of the body, and the left part of the cerebrum hemisphere controls the right part of the body. And functions of the cerebrum controls voluntary motor actions, and it is a site of the sensory perception like the tactile, auditory perception, and it is a seat of learning and memory. And let us discuss about the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus also a part of the forebrain. The hypothalamus lies at the base of the cerebrum. It controls sleep and the wake cycle of the body. It also controls the urges for eating and the drinking. Cerebrum, it is a part of the hindbrain. Cerebellum lies above the cerebrum at the back of the whole structure. It coordinates the motor functions. Motor functions are carried by the motor neurons. When you are riding your bicycle, the perfect coordination between your paddling and the steering control is achieved by the cerebellum. This is example for the function of the cerebellum. Medulla is a part of the hindbrain. Medulla forms the brainstem along the pons. Along with the pons, it lies at the base of the brain and continues with the spinal cord. The medulla controls various involuntary actions like heartbeat and respiration and etc. It controls involuntary actions, example blood pressure, salivation and vomiting. Pons, it is also a part of the hindbrain. It relays impulses between the lower cerebellum and the spinal cord, and the higher parts of the brain like the cerebrum and the midbrain also regulates the respiration. The last part is the spinal cord. Spinal cord controls the reflex actions and conducts messages between the different parts of the body and the brain. So I have said that I am going to announce something at the end of the video. That is, if you want this PPT, you can text in the comment box. I will provide you this PPT and it is useful for the 10 students. You can study it well. And I will thank you for watching once again, and I will really thankful for the Aditya. He has maintained all the slides, and I will thankful for the Krishna. He has provided us the mic, and thank you for watching. Like this video, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.